I stared at the real estate contract on my laptop screen, my finger hovering over the cancel transaction button. $50,000. 2 years of saving every penny from my software engineering salary in San Francisco. 2 years of living in a cramped studio apartment when I could afford better. 2 years of meal prepping instead of eating out. All for this moment that would never come. The email from my mother sat open in another tab. Emily, your father and I expect you at my 60th birthday party next Saturday. Madison is flying in from LA and organizing everything. We need you to contribute $5,000 for the family gift we're getting me. It's only fair since Madison is doing all the work. If you can't be bothered to show up and help your sister, then maybe you're not the daughter we thought you were. Dad says if you don't come, don't expect anything from us ever again. I read it 3 times, each time feeling the familiar ache in my chest grow deeper. 27 years old, and I was still fighting for scraps of their attention. My phone buzzed. A text from Madison, my older sister. Mom told me about the party. Can you believe she wants you to contribute the same amount as me? I've been planning for months. Just Venmo me the $5K by Wednesday. No, hi Emily. No, how are you? Just demands. As always, I looked around my tiny apartment in the Sunset District. 400 square feet that cost me $2,800 a month. I'd lived here since I graduated from Berkeley 5 years ago. Even as my salary climbed from $65,000 to $190,000, my college roommates couldn't understand why I didn't move to a nicer place. They didn't know about the house. For 2 years, I'd been working with a real estate agent in Sacramento, my parents' city. I'd found the perfect property. A 3-bedroom craftsman with a renovated kitchen, a backyard for my dad's vegetable garden dreams, and a front porch where my mom had always said she wanted to drink her morning coffee. It was in a safe neighborhood, close to good hospitals, and exactly what they'd described as their dream retirement home whenever Madison wasn't around to hear. The down payment was $50,000. I had it ready. The closing was scheduled for 2 weeks after my mom's birthday. I'd planned to give them the keys at the party, wrapped in a box with a bow, the surprise of their lives. But that was before this email. I closed my laptop and walked to my window, looking out at the fog rolling in from the Pacific. My therapist's words echoed in my head from our session last week. Emily, you can't keep setting yourself on fire to keep them warm. At some point, you have to ask yourself, would they do the same for you? I already knew the answer. Growing up, Madison was the golden child. 3 years older, prettier, more outgoing. She was the cheerleader, the homecoming princess, the one with a million friends. I was the quiet one, the bookish one, the one who spent Friday nights coding instead of at parties. When Madison wanted to go to USC for college, my parents didn't hesitate. They paid every penny: tuition, housing, spending money, a car. She graduated with a communications degree and 0 debt. When I got into Berkeley for computer science, I was ecstatic. It was my dream school, close to Silicon Valley, perfect for my career goals. I applied for financial aid and got some scholarships, but I still needed help. We'll figure it out, my dad said, not looking up from his newspaper. They didn't figure it out. My first semester, they sent me $3,000 and said that was all they could afford. I took out loans. I worked 3 jobs: tutoring, campus IT support, and weekend shifts at a coffee shop. I graduated summa cum laude with $30,000 in student debt. Madison graduated debt-free and moved into a luxury apartment in Santa Monica that my parents helped furnish. I never said anything. I thought that was just how it was. Madison was the firstborn, the favorite. I was the spare, the one who was supposed to be grateful for whatever crumbs fell from the table. But I worked hard. I got a job at a startup that went public. My stock options vested. I paid off my loans in 2 years. I started saving aggressively, and I made a promise to myself. One day, I would do something so generous, so incredible, that my parents would finally see me, really see me. That's why I'd been planning the house. My phone rang. My mom, Emily. Did you get my email? Hi, Mom. Yes, I got it. Good. So you'll be there? I hesitated. Can I ask you something? What? Do you remember my college graduation? Silence. Then, of course I do. Why? Did you come? More silence. Mom, did you come to my graduation? Emily, that was 5 years ago. I don't remember every detail. It's a yes or no question. Well, Madison was closing on her first property sale that week, and we wanted to support her. It was a big deal, so that's a no. Don't be dramatic. We sent you a card. A card. I'd walked across the stage as valedictorian of my program, and they'd sent a card. What about the $5,000, Emily? Will you send it? I looked at the contract on my screen again. The house I'd sacrificed 2 years of my life for. The grand gesture that was supposed to finally make them proud. I need to think about it. Think about it. Emily, this is your mother's 60th birthday. Your sister is working so hard to make it special. The least you can do is contribute. Madison's working hard? Mom, what has Madison done for you lately? She visits every month. She calls every week. She's organizing this entire party. I call every week too. You just don't answer. That's not fair. And I can't visit every month because I live 7 hours away and work 60-hour weeks. If you cared, you'd make time. The words hit me like a slap. If I cared, this from the woman I was about to buy a house for. I'll let you know about the money, I said, and hung up before she could respond. I sat down at my kitchen table, which was really just a folding table I'd bought at Target, and opened my laptop again. I pulled up my bank account. The $50,000 sat there, ready to transfer for the down payment. Below it was the $5,000 my mother expected me to send. I could do both. I had the money, but something in my chest was screaming at me to stop. I called my best friend, Priya. She answered on the first ring. What's wrong? How do you know something's wrong? Because you never call during work hours. What happened? I told her everything. The house, the party, the email, the phone call. When I finished, Priya was quiet for a long moment. I'm going to say something, and I need you to really hear me. Okay, you're about to spend $50,000 on people who didn't even show up to your college graduation. That's different. They were supporting Madison. No, they were choosing Madison. They've always chosen Madison. And you've spent your entire adult life trying to prove you're worth choosing too. I just want them to be proud of me. They should already be proud of you. You're brilliant. You're successful. You're kind. The fact that they can't see that isn't your failure. It's theirs. I felt tears starting to burn behind my eyes. So what do I do? That's up to you. But I'll tell you what I would do. I would take care of myself first for once. I would stop trying to buy their love. And I would let them face the consequences of taking you for granted. After we hung up, I sat with my laptop for another hour. Then I made a decision. I clicked on the real estate agent's contact. Hi, Emily, she wrote back immediately. Are we still on track for closing? My fingers hesitated over the keyboard. Then I typed, I need to cancel the transaction. 3 dots appeared, then disappeared, then appeared again. Are you sure? You'll lose your earnest money deposit. I'm sure. Can I ask why? I thought about how to explain it. How do you tell someone that you're canceling the biggest gift you've ever planned because you finally realize the recipients don't deserve it? Change of plans, I typed. But I have a question. If I wanted to donate $50,000 to a housing charity instead, do you know any good ones? She sent me 3 links. I researched them all, then chose one. A nonprofit that helped single mothers escape domestic violence by providing down payments for safe housing. I set up the donation to process the day after my mom's party. Then I dealt with the $5,000. I opened Venmo and sent Madison the money with a note. For Mom's party. See you Saturday. She responded with a thumbs up emoji. Nothing else. The week crawled by. My coworkers asked if I was okay. I wasn't sleeping well. I kept second-guessing my decision about the house. Maybe I was being petty. Maybe I should just go through with it. Maybe this time would be different. But every time I wavered, I remembered my therapist's question. Would they do the same for you? Saturday arrived cold and overcast, typical for San Francisco in October. I put on a navy blue dress, simple but elegant, and drove to Sacramento. The party was at my parents' house, the same house I'd grown up in, the same house they'd been complaining about for years. Too small, too old, too much maintenance. The house I was going to replace. I pulled up at 2 in the afternoon. Cars lined the street. Through the window, I could see balloons and people milling around. Madison opened the door before I could knock. She looked perfect, as always. Blonde hair in beachy waves, designer dress, professional makeup. You made it, she said, like she'd been expecting me not to. I said I would. Come in. Mom's in the backyard. The house was packed with relatives and family friends, people I hadn't seen in years. They said hello, asked about my job, told me I looked tired, standard family gathering fare. I found my parents in the backyard. My dad was manning the grill. My mom was holding court at a table, opening gifts. Emily! She stood up and hugged me. It felt performative, done for the audience. "You're here! Happy birthday, Mom." "Thank you, sweetie. Did you bring a gift?" "I did." "Well, put it with the others. Madison will organize them later." Of course Madison would. I placed my gift on the table. It was a small box, wrapped in silver paper. My mom barely glanced at it before turning back to her conversation. I spent the next hour making small talk, eating potato salad, and watching my parents gush over Madison. She'd organized everything, they kept saying. The caterer, the decorations, the guest list. She was such a thoughtful daughter. Nobody mentioned that I'd driven 7 hours to be there. Nobody asked about my job or my life. I was a body filling a seat, checking a box so they could say both daughters came. Around 4 o'clock, my mom gathered everyone for the gift opening. She'd already opened most of them throughout the party, but Madison had saved the big one for last. Madison stood up and cleared her throat. "Everyone, thank you for coming to celebrate my mom's 60th birthday. As you know, Mom has been talking for years about her dream retirement, and Dad's been working so hard. So Emily and I decided to do something special this year." "Wait, Emily and I?" Madison continued. "We've been saving up to give Mom and Dad the gift of a lifetime. We're sending them on a 3-week European tour. First-class flights, 5-star hotels, guided tours of Paris, Rome, Barcelona, and London. Everything's already booked for next spring." The crowd burst into applause. My mom gasped and started crying. My dad looked stunned. I stood frozen. A European tour. Madison had used my $5,000 to contribute to a trip she'd been planning without telling me, and now she was taking equal credit. "Madison, Emily, come here," my mom said, tears streaming down her face. I walked over mechanically. My mom hugged Madison first, longer, tighter, then she hugged me. "Thank you both so much. This is incredible. Madison, you've outdone yourself with the planning." "Well, Emily helped," Madison said, barely glancing at me. "Did you know about this?" I asked Madison quietly. "Of course. I've been planning it for months. I told you I was organizing everything. You said you were organizing the party, not a whole trip. Same difference. You sent the money. That's what matters." I felt something inside me crack. Not break. Crack. Like ice spreading across a frozen lake. "I need some air," I said. I walked inside to the quiet living room. My gift still sat on the table, unopened, ignored under a pile of cards and wrapping paper. I picked it up. Inside was a card I'd written by hand. It explained everything. The house I'd been planning to buy, the 2 years of sacrifice, the keys that would have been inside this box, and why I'd changed my mind. But they didn't need to hear that anymore. They'd made their choice clear. I was about to throw the box away when my dad walked in. "Emily, your mother wants photos with both you girls. In a minute." "What's wrong?" "Nothing. You seem upset." I laughed. It came out bitter. "When have you ever cared if I was upset?" He frowned. "That's uncalled for." "Is it? Dad, when's the last time you asked about my life? We talk all the time." "No, you talk. I listen. There's a difference. Emily, I don't know what's gotten into you, but today is not the day for this." "Then when is the day? When will it ever be the right day for you to see me?" "See you? We're looking right at you." "No, you're not. You never have. Do you even know what I do for a living?" He hesitated. "You work with computers. I'm a senior software engineer at a company that just went public. I made $200,000 last year. I own stock worth another $100,000. I paid off $30,000 in student loans in 2 years. I've been saving aggressively for 5 years. "That's great, honey. Do you know why I've been saving? For your future? For you." He looked confused. "What?" I held up the box. "This was supposed to be your gift. Not just for Mom's birthday. For both of you. For everything. Emily, I don't understand. I've been working with a real estate agent for 2 years. I found you a house. The house you and Mom have been dreaming about. 3 bedrooms, renovated kitchen, backyard for your garden, front porch for Mom's morning coffee. In a safe neighborhood, near good hospitals. I had the down payment ready. $50,000. I was going to give you the keys today." My dad's face went pale. $50,000. "I was going to buy you a house, Dad, because even after everything, even after you paid for Madison's entire college while I drowned in debt, even after you missed my graduation, even after years of coming second, I still thought maybe this would make you proud of me. Maybe this would make you see me. Emily, we do see you. Then tell me one thing I've accomplished in the last 5 years. One thing that doesn't involve Madison." He opened his mouth. Nothing came out. That's what I thought. I put the box down on the table. I canceled the house purchase yesterday. I donated the money to a charity that helps domestic violence survivors find safe housing. At least those mothers will appreciate having someone fight for them. You donated $50,000? In Madison's name, actually. She'll get the tax receipt. Merry Christmas. My dad sank into a chair. Emily, I had no idea you were planning this. Of course you didn't. Because you never asked. Neither of you ever asked what I was doing, what I was dreaming about, what I was working toward. You just assumed I was fine because I don't make noise like Madison does. We thought you preferred being independent. I didn't prefer it, Dad. I had no choice. You gave me no choice. Madison got everything handed to her, and I had to fight for every scrap. And I told myself it was fine. I told myself I was stronger for it. But the truth is, it broke my heart every single day. My mom walked in. "What's going on? People are waiting for photos." "Tell her," I said to my dad. "Emily was just telling me about a very generous donation she made." My mom looked between us. "What donation?" I explained it all again. The house, the savings, the cancellation, the charity donation in Madison's name. When I finished, my mom's face was unreadable. "So you're telling me you were going to buy us a house, but instead you gave the money away out of spite?" The word spite hit me like a punch. "No, Mom, not spite. Self-preservation. I gave the money to people who actually need it, instead of people who take me for granted." "We don't take you for granted. You asked me for $5,000 for your birthday gift without even knowing I sent it until Madison told you. You didn't call to thank me. You didn't acknowledge it. Madison got all the credit for a trip she's sending you on with my money. Madison organized it. And that's worth more than my actual contribution? Emily, you're being ridiculous." "Am I? Mom, answer me honestly. If I had given you those keys today, would you have even known it was from me specifically? Or would you have assumed Madison was responsible for that too?" My mom's silence was deafening. "That's what I thought." I picked up my purse. "I'm leaving." "You're leaving? But we haven't cut the cake yet. I have a 7-hour drive back to San Francisco. I need to get going." "Emily, don't be dramatic." That word again, dramatic. As if having feelings about being invisible was somehow theatrical. "I'm not being dramatic. I'm being honest. For the first time in my life, I'm being completely honest with you both. You have 2 daughters. One who you worship and one who you tolerate. I'm done being tolerated. I'm done sacrificing myself for people who wouldn't do the same for me." "That's not fair," my mom said. "We love you." "Do you?" "Because love isn't just a word, Mom. It's action. It's showing up. It's remembering. It's effort. And you've never put in the effort for me that you put in for Madison." Madison appeared in the doorway. "What's going on? Why is everyone upset?" I turned to my sister. "Did you know I paid off $30,000 in student loans while you graduated debt-free?" She blinked. No, I didn't know you had loans. Did you know I work 60-hour weeks and live in a 400-square-foot apartment even though I could afford better? I thought you liked your place. Did you know I was saving to buy Mom and Dad a house?" She looked at our parents, then back at me. "No, of course you didn't, because nobody in this family asks about me. Nobody wonders what I'm doing or what I need or what I dream about. You all just assume I'm fine because I don't complain." "Emily, that's not true," Madison said, but her voice was uncertain. "When's the last time you called me just to talk? Not to ask for money, or to tell me about your problems, or to pass along information from Mom and Dad? When did you last call to ask how I was doing?" She thought about it. I watched her think about it, and I watched her realize she couldn't remember. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "I know you are. But I'm tired of sorry. I'm tired of being the daughter who's always understanding, always flexible, always willing to come second. I'm done." I walked toward the door. My dad stood up. "Emily, please. Don't leave like this." "How should I leave, Dad? With a smile and a promise to do better? I've been doing better my whole life. It's your turn now. What do you want from us?" I stopped at the threshold. "I wanted you to choose me. Just once, I wanted to be the daughter you chose first. But it's too late now. I'm choosing myself instead." I walked out to my car. Nobody followed me. Through the window, I could see the party continuing, people laughing, unaware of the family implosion that had just occurred inside. I sat in my car for a moment, hands shaking on the steering wheel. Then I pulled out my phone and texted my real estate agent. "Remember that house in Sacramento? Is it still available?" She replied within minutes. "Yes. Did you change your mind?" "Not for my parents. For me. I'm moving back. Can we schedule a viewing?" The drive back to San Francisco felt longer than usual. I stopped at a rest area halfway and called Priya. "How did it go?" she asked. I told them everything. And they still don't get it. But that's okay. I finally get it. Get what? That I can't make people value me. I can only value myself. 3 months later, I closed on the house in Sacramento. Not the craftsman I'd picked for my parents, but a charming Victorian with a home office and a reading nook. I started a new job at a tech company with better work-life balance. I adopted a dog. I joined a book club. My parents called a few times. I didn't answer. Madison texted. I responded politely but briefly. They left voicemails saying we needed to talk, that I was overreacting, that family was important. What they didn't say was, "I'm sorry." What they didn't say was, "You were right." What they didn't say was, "We should have done better." 6 months after the party, my mom showed up at my new house unannounced. I opened the door to find her standing there, looking smaller than I remembered. "Can I come in?" I hesitated, then stepped aside. She walked through my house slowly, taking it all in. The furniture I'd finally bought, the art on the walls, the garden I was starting in the backyard. "It's beautiful, Emily. Thank you. You did this all yourself?" "Yes. I had no idea you were this settled. You never asked." She flinched. We sat down in my living room, awkward silence filling the space between us. "Your father and I have been talking," she finally said, "about what you said at my party." "Okay. We think you were too harsh." My heart sank. "Of course. But," she continued, "we also think you might have been right about some things. Some things? We should have paid more attention to you. We should have made more effort. We got comfortable taking you for granted because you never complained. So it's my fault for not complaining?" "No, that came out wrong." She rubbed her temples. "Emily, I'm not good at this. I'm not good at admitting when I'm wrong. But I'm trying. Are you? Because it sounds like you're still making excuses." "I'm not. I didn't realize how much we'd hurt you. I didn't see it. That's the problem, Mom. You didn't see me. Period." She was quiet for a long moment. Then tears started rolling down her cheeks. "I did see you, Emily. I just didn't know how to show it. Madison was always so needy, always demanding attention. You were so independent, so capable. I thought you didn't need me the way she did. Everyone needs their mother. I know that now." She wiped her eyes. "When you told us about the house you were going to buy, about the money you'd saved, Emily, I couldn't sleep for weeks. I kept thinking about all the times I should have asked about your life. All the times I should have told you how proud I was. And I was proud. I am proud. I just never told you." "Why not?" "Because I thought you knew. I thought it was obvious." "How was it obvious when you missed my graduation to attend Madison's real estate closing?" She had no answer for that. We sat in silence again. My dog, a golden retriever named Sunny, padded over and put his head in my lap. My mom watched. "You got a dog." "I did." "What's his name?" "Sunny." "He's beautiful." She paused. "Can I pet him?" "He'd love that." She reached over and scratched behind Sunny's ears. He wagged his tail happily. No grudges, no complicated feelings. Just pure dog joy. "I'm not asking you to forgive me," my mom said finally. "I'm not even asking you to let us back into your life. I just wanted you to know that I hear you. I understand now. And I'm sorry." It was the first time she'd said those words to me in my entire life. "Thank you," I said quietly. "Your father's sorry too. He's too proud to come here and say it, but he is. I know." She stood up to leave. At the door, she turned back. "Madison's getting married next year. I heard. She'd like you to be there. I'll think about it. That's all I can ask." She paused. "You're doing well, Emily. Better than well. You're thriving. I should have told you that at my party. I should have told you every day of your life." After she left, I sat on my couch with Sunny, thinking about forgiveness and fresh starts, and whether second chances were earned or given. I didn't know yet. But for the first time in my life, I wasn't in a hurry to figure it out. I had a house I chose for myself, a job I enjoyed, a dog who loved me unconditionally, and a growing understanding that sometimes the best gift you can give yourself is the gift of your own priority. The $50,000 I'd saved bought me something after all. Not a house for people who didn't appreciate me, but a life where I finally appreciated myself, and that made all the difference.